Do you think a group of students who aim to turn exam papers into millions will succeed? Well, that's what you will watch in Bad Genius, the series. Lynn is an extremely smart girl. Due to her brilliance, her father Vit is quite upset. He desired to have her enrolled in a more prestigious institution. They are aware that the school's dues are too expensive. But the principal is inspired by her math computations and conversation, and she gets registered for the school with a scholarship. One day, as Lynn is practicing the piano in class, Grace, one of her classmates, approaches her. For the school performance, she needs Lynn's assistance in practicing a song. It is her dream to be in a play, and she is upset that she might not receive one. Lynn requests that she pay close attention to the keys and follow their lead. Grace is ecstatic when, after some practice, she successfully presses the proper keys. But it turns out that the new rule states that pupils who want to be in the school play must have a GPA more than 3.25. Grace laments that her GPA has never been that high, and Lynn offers to tutor her. They work together in the library to study for a few days. Sofon, their math teacher, gives pupils after-school tutoring in math. One day, Grace, who attends his private sessions as well, brings a sample test that Sofon had prepared. Though the questions are harder than the ones he often teaches in class, Lynn nevertheless practices them. They take their arithmetic midterm exam a few weeks later. Lynn realizes that the majority of them are the same as those Grace had. Lynn can see that Sofon has been giving test questions to the kids who pay him for extracurricular coaching. She writes all the solutions on an eraser, slips it inside her shoe, and kicks it back to Grace's desk. Grace obtains the solutions and records them all. Grace is thrilled to receive the highest grades of her academic career when the results are announced. Sofon, however, is skeptical of the girls because they all receive the same score. He cautions the girls that he will not be lenient towards them if he discovers they're cheating. Grace invites Lynn to a dinner party at her boyfriend Pat's house after he departs. Pat is a rich, sluggish child who struggles academically. Following the dinner, Pat requests Lynn to assist him in the exam like she did with Grace. Pat offers Lynn a huge sum of money in exchange for helping him. Pat wants Lynn's assistance severely since his father has promised to buy him a sports car if he succeeds. Lynn declines the offer though, since she doesn't want to take a chance on being discovered. However, she eventually consents to assist Pat and Grace in using test fraud to pay off their debts and cover her tuition and her father's loans. She stipulates that in order for their teacher to not detect them, Pat and Grace will only earn 3/4 of the correct answers. Later, Lynn meets Bank, who she is sharing her scholarship with. When she asks if they can still be friends, Bank rejects her, claiming that they are competitors. Pat calls Lynn into the computer lab one day at school and asks her if she will cease assisting him in cheating now that she is not required to pay tuition. When the girl claims that she is no longer in need of his financial assistance, he laughs at her. Pat asserts that the institution will continue to collect fees for extracurricular activities that she is likely unaware of. While remaining silent, Lynn questions whether he's telling the truth. So, when she gets home, she looks through her father's drawer and discovers that he has given the school a total of 2,000 baht as a maintenance fee. She learns from this that the school still generates money from all of its students and that the full scholarship was only a marketing trick. Pat receives a frantic phone from Lynn asking if there are more people prepared to pay her like him. The next day, Pat sets up a meeting between Lynn, Grace, and his wealthy friends who require Lynn's assistance. For one semester of cheating, she asks each of them for 30,000 baht. They will need to pay Pat, who will then deliver the cash to Lynn so that there is no record of the transaction. Lynn devises a different strategy. She recalls that the front wall of the building has a visible clock. The minute hand on the wall, according to her, indicates which question they are currently in. The questions will also have 4 options because they are multiple choice. The solution is on the second hand of the clock. Therefore, Lynn will raise her hand when the second hand reaches 1 for answer A and 2 for answer B respectively. The innocent Bank, who is not part of the plan, discovers the cheating and accidentally puts Lynn in a precarious position, risking her scholarship, but they pass their local exams. After an incident that knocks him off his feet and leaves him helpless in a dump one day, scarred and battered, Bank is given the chance to take the Singaporean scholarship exam, but he is unable to complete it. When Lynn's father learns about her high school scam, he is infuriated. Even if it was obtained through unethical means, he commands her to return the money she had saved as a result of all of her labor. She receives a warning from the school as well, and as a result, her scholarship is revoked and she is no longer eligible to seek a university-level foreign scholarship. Pat's parents, who want them to enroll in a U.S. institution, present another obstacle for Pat and Grace. Grace is invited to go with Pat, most likely with all of their expenses covered as long as she does so. Pat's parents believe that Grace is the reason why Pat is passing his classes. The two are uncomfortable with the proposal, but they know Lynn is the real reason they succeeded. Grace asks Lynn for assistance once more because she is desperate to avoid disappointing Pat and his parents. Lynn initially refuses, but she finally agrees when Lynn comes up with another test cheating plan for the STIC, an international standardized test for university admissions taking the exam in Sydney. Pat proposes a business idea to entice some of their fellow students to join the league. Those students who are desperate to pass the international exam, while they create a nearly surefire scheme to pass the STIC. Many people who would pay the fee they demanded in exchange for accurate answers in passing the exam were included in the list. When Pat and Grace ask Lynn to assist them with the STIC, a scam that will earn them millions of baht, Lynn turns to cheating once more. However, Lynn claims that Bank, who would never approve of such dishonesty, is the only one who can help her. But later, Bank, who comes from a low-income home and is depending on the same university scholarship for his future, is attacked by thugs in the street and misses the scholarship test. The offer is then presented to him by Lynn. Although Bank, who they hired for the job to take the exam in Sydney with Lynn, is initially concerned, he eventually gives up because of the family's ongoing financial struggles. They work together to get ready for the big operation. They receive all the information they require during training, and they are all taught to use caution around STIC. In order to gain a head start on the tests, which are given worldwide on the same day, Lynn and Bank will travel to Australia. They will then provide Pat and Grace the results so they can give the information to their customers. On the eve of their departure, Pat reveals that he was the one who gave the order for the thugs to beat up Bank in order to coerce him into participating in their operation. Bank assaults Pat out of rage before walking away. Lynn feels regret over what her companions did. The following day, the day of the exam, Bank confronts Lynn. Pat and Grace are inspired to complete their job while in Thailand when they show up together on the trip to Sydney with a newfound sense of resolve. The plan is put into action in Sydney, and Lynn and Bank are determined to escape unscathed. Bank and Lynn successfully complete the first parts of the exam as planned, but Bank is overtaken with worry and is caught. The final section is particularly difficult for Lynn to memorize, but she succeeds in the end. After claiming illness and leaving the testing facility early, she is pursued by the test administrator but is let go after Bank claims not to know her. When Lynn gets home, she discovers that their plan had been a huge success. But she is so heartbroken by the experience that she rejects her half of the money and turns her back on her accomplices. Later, Bank approaches her, having contributed his portion to the renovation of his mother's laundry company. The National GAT-PAT University admission exam candidates are the target audience for this new scheme, which Bank invites Lynn to launch. When she declines, Bank threatens to reveal the entire situation and the fact that she was the scheme's brains behind it. When Lynn finally decides to come clean, she tells her father in an emotional confession. Her father consoles her and assists her in making amends by submitting a formal confession to the STIC group. Finally, Lynn is starting a new life while Bank is evolving as a bad genius.